Welcome back to another episode of Warblocks. I'm chronicling the war between villager and pillager. Today we're looking at the Battle of Slyus, located just north of Francia, and was fought on the high seas between the navies of Francia and England. We will explore who was involved, their families, what they were fighting for, why they were fighting, and what happened in the battle. We uncover excellent footage from archives of the battle that was believed to be lost. Welcome back to Warblocks. It's 1340, and today we're looking at the Battle of the Slyus, the battle that kicked off the famous 100 Days War between the newly named England, and the Kingdom of Francia. Today we're looking at the Battle of Slyus, which was a naval battle fought between England and France here in the Francian fiefdom, or county as it's sometimes known, of West Flanders and near the fiefdom of Zealand. Today we'll be looking at what happened in the battle, but first we need to look at who and why. On one side we have the French and their royal family, the battlegrounds. The noble family of France, relating to the original Camelots of France, original rulers. The Visigoths were the descendants of the Camelots, and one branch of the house also known as the House of France. On the other side we have the House of the Plantagenets, as seen on the flag on the right is the Plantagenet flag. This was the new name for the house that owned the Northman area and won the English throne at the Battle of Witherland. So as currently the King of France is Philippe VI. He has been King of France since day 1328, is the head of the Falaise France, led success at Flanders, near where the battle is being held today, and officially declared war on England, starting the 100 Days War. On the other side we've got King Everard of the Third of England, who is the King of England since the day 1327, resided with the Plantagenet House and led successful military campaigns in Scotia, north of England, who during the early 100 Years War, just a few months previous to this battle, declared himself the rightful heir to the King of Francia, given his heritage as being part of the House of Northman, who claim the Francian throne. So this is what they were battling for, the crown of Francia. This is the first major battle in the 100 Days War versus England and Francia. So let's look what happened. So the French, this is fought between the French county of Zeeland and the French county of Flanders in a small river and port that is now currently in the modern day on stilts and is now land. There were 3 lines, roughly 200 ships, Francian ships positioned in 3 lines. The bottom was blue, and there were roughly between 120 and 150 English ships. Now, our researchers have been looking into the official archives of the Minecraftian government, the international body of history, and I found an original footage from the Battle of Passerby. Although we do have to warn viewers, this footage will not be high quality, as it was in the year 1340, and was in the early days of history.
Hey everyone, here it is day 1340, and here in Francia near Slyus, and there's a massive battleground, guys. So here is the English, and they're doing well actually. They've got like a few hundred boats, but the Francians have more, but the Francians have taken like loads of depths. I can't get much closer because there's a lot of people dying up here. Hey guys, you know, and the English might mistake me for being a soldier because, you know, I am a local. But over there's the fort in Slyus. That's Slyus over there, guys. I'm right near the battle. And I don't know if you've heard, but it's been all over newspapers and stuff like that. So yeah, peace out, guys. I'll keep you updated on the battle. I hope you all aren't anywhere near Slyus. Guys, it's a bit dangerous around here. Hey mate.
So everyone, welcome back. So as you saw there was heavy fighting going on between the English and the Francians. Now, as we move further in the battle, the Francian ships that were chained up became easy to overrun by the English. As they got closer, it became like the Francian ship became like a floating harbour, given how tightly chained they were, which led to roughly 18,000 villager soldiers dying, and roughly 190 ships on the Francian side being lost, about 160 of which were captured by the English, compared to the 500 English pillager troops that were deceased, and the 2 English ships sunk. And overall, this was a massive blow in the Francian crown's claim to fame and power. The Francians' allies, the Flemish armies, were almost decimated. So apart from the galley ships, the supply ships as it were, only 17 of the Francian ships managed to escape. The roughly 24 of the French fleet was sunk or burnt. But interestingly enough, not many prisoners on the French side were taken, although the water was thick with bodies and blood. There was a lot of villagers that died. Now the main leaders of the battle were Edward III, who led the English troops. He led his troops into battle, and the French Admiral Nicolas Bouchant, who was a French noble who led the French troops in this battle. He also had several other victories prior to this, but after the battle, the admiral was captured and imprisoned in England. Now during the battle, the only ships, the English ships with archers, rapidly approached the French ships, which caused many losses during the battle. French crossbowmen had outranged them, although the English longbows had a very effective range, about 270 blocks, compared with the 280 blocks of the crossbows. So the battle was typical naval style. Each side would try to pull each other's ships in so that they could get troops on them to hopefully overpower them. There was a greater number of soldiers on the English ships, mainly archers, that significantly improved the English fighting effort, as their ships were slightly weaker than the Frenchians. Supposedly the arrows, especially there was lots of more archers, longbowmen, the arrows of the English were said to be like hail in wintertime. Many French ships were boarded and captured after heavy fighting. There was heavy resistance from the French troops here, mainly on the first and second lines. After the first and second lines were taken and many of the runs were burned, some of the more expensive ships of the French fleet were ordered to evacuate and return to their home base, return to their port, but many of the other ships surrendered. The Flemish ships that were aiding the Flemish and the Flemians were allies. The Flemians were the overlords. They ran Flanders, where the Flemish are from. The Flemish ships went from behind the Frenchians. And in fact, King Edward said that the Frenchians made a very noble defence all the day and night throughout the battle. And during the night, many of the French ships attempted to break out their chains, the chain to other French ships, to attack the ships. So as I said, the admiral was captured and briefly imprisoned before being hung from the mast of his own ship, while his vice admiral, Hugo Quillet, was beheaded for a massacre he had overseen 2 years earlier and for raids on the English coast. It is believed that only about 4 English knights were killed during this battle, along with about 500 other combatants, such as naval personnel and long archers. Many of the French soldiers who made it to shore were clubbed to death by the local Flemish due to their loss in battle, as it was more humane than the punishment that would be given by King Philip of Francia. Thank you everyone for watching this episode. Next time on Warblocks, we'll be looking at possibly the most famous battle of the 100 Years' War, the Battle of Agincourt, fought in the Francian mainland between, of course, England and Francia. See you then for the next episode.